Guys, Assalamualaikum and good evening. We will be a little bit late because we are still waiting for our guest speaker to log in. So dia ada hal sikit, so akan ada delay sikit lah. So kita tunggu sehingga guest speaker datang. Okay, thank you all.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And good evening lah to all. Okay, sorry for the delay. A bit delay lah kan. Dalam 15 minutes. Okay, so first of all, I would like to welcome to all of you, all of the students who are available to join our session tonight. Okay, and then not forgetting our guest speaker lah, Mr. Shakif Emir. Thank you for your time. So as planned today, we are organizing an industrial talk, okay, for the students of UniKL lah, for BMI students, especially in the electrical and electronics department for diploma and degree. Okay, so our topic for our talk today is about the relationship of IoT in our technologies and our technology field of technologies which are available in Malaysia lah. Okay, so the title of this industrial talk is Industrial Solution with IoT Technologies. Right, so I'll be the host. My name is Mr. Izwarim Abdul Malik, and I'm a lecturer here lah. Okay, and then most of you are my students for this semester. Okay, and then our guest speaker is Mr. Shakif Emir bin Sharifuddin. He is the System Integration Engineer for IoT for the company of Singularity Aerotech Asia Sendirian Berhad. Okay, so basically this is our topic for today lah. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Shakif to start his industrial talk and presentation today. Maybe you can start with introduction of yourself, Mr. Shakif.
Yes. Thank you, Sir Izwan. First of all, I would like to apologize for a bit late due to uncertain things that happened just now. Uh, well, um, first of all, my name is Shakif Ime bin Sharifuddin, as mentioned by Mr. Izwan. I'm a system integration engineer working for Singularity Aerotech Asia. Um, Basically, my job at this company is to integrate with all the system that we have lah, right? So while I'm working here, I'm involving a lot with sensor, a lot with design, system architecture, and I've been handling 3 projects now under my under my position. I have conducting a 3 project now, all related to Internet of Things. I'm before this, I worked with 2 different company. After I graduate from Unical BMI. By the way, I'm a alumni from Unical BMI. I'm taking course from electronic BET Electronics. I've studied there for 7 years. Diploma as well. I'm taking course in EE Electrical Electronics. And if one of you guys seen me in BMI before, so I'm also a club president for Benix Club. if you guys know that club lah, that is electronic clubs. So I was a president in the year of 2019. So I studied there for 7 years, and I graduated in 2020. Then my first job was in Kajang. It is a military company. It is a service and maintenance company for military device such as vehicles, battle tanks, weapon, and I worked there for 1 year. And if you guys see one of the vehicle in our Merdeka. Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Just now you just breaking a little bit. Please continue,
Okay.
Mr. Shakif.
Okay. So if you guys see one of the vehicle in Merdeka Day previously, there's a United Nations, a white vehicle, a white truck being berarak in Dataran Merdeka. That is my notable project lah. Basically, I'm handled for that vehicle. There are 20 units of that vehicle. I'm in charge for the electrical electronic system development, which is the harness and the lighting system, the PCB design. So that is my experience while I'm working in that company for 1 year lah. Then I make several a repair job for like a diffusion robot, a rocket launcher, a battle tank, GPS system for battle tank, a lot of sensor in battle tank. So that is my first job for 1 year with that company. And after that, I migrate to this company for a short term. It is a contract-based company as a R&D engineer. That is where I'm involving in IoT and also pure PCB designer. So while I'm working there, I'm involved in a lot of PCB design, microcontroller design, system architecture, sensor. I'm dealing a lot of sensor, flight sensor, LiDAR, light sensor, temperature sensor, and so on. There's a lot of sensor I'm dealing while working in the company. So after my contract ended, for 4 months I've been working there. And now only I joined this company, which is Singularity Aerotech Asia, as a system integration bracket Internet of Things lah. So what I'm doing, as I mentioned before, I am dealing with IoT system, system architecture, network development, tracking system. There's a project that I'm dealing with a tracking system in a manufacturing site. So I think that's all about me lah. Right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shakif. Okay, so as you can relate just now, Mr. Shakif is our alumni lah, our ex-student from Unicare LBMI, where you are learning now. So basically, he spent 7 years of his studying life in here, right? Starting from his diploma in electrical and electronics, and then he proceed with bachelor in electronics. Okay, so as you can see now, he's working as one of the IoT engineers which are available in Malaysia. Okay, so meaning that studying here in Unicare LBMI, you have a very good future basically, right? So that is why this industrial talk is being held today, because we want to expose to all of you students, for all of you to understand, to get the information about the job life after you completed study here. Okay, so 7 years of studying in Unicare LBMI, so he's basically you can call him super senior lah. All right. So we move on to our next part. Okay, so Okay, I would like to ask Mr. Shakif, what are the technologies used to develop the IoT which are available in Malaysia now?
Yes, thank you. Before that, I would like to give a quick introduction about this IoT. So IoT basically is by definition, it is called as Internet of Things, which is you have a thing and you connect it to the internet. So that's the by a raw and pure definition. But what does it mean is if you have some sort like a application or a system that requires you to control, to monitor, to store the data, and to do a quick analysis or to observe or something, and you want to see those data that you get published in your dashboard or something, or in your mobile phone, your mobile application, your laptops, or in your server or something. It is you can only having that by connecting your data, your device, or your system through an internet. So that's the theory of the Internet of Things lah, right? Whenever you want to control anything that is input from a sensor, definitely going to be a sensor nowadays, and then you want to publish it into your dashboard, to your mobile application, something, then you'll be able to do that by connecting to the internet. So everything nowadays is connected to internet, your cloud, social media, your handphone, your TV, even your refrigerator nowadays as well have internet of things technology. So that's the quick introduction about the internet of things. So back to the question, what are the technologies used to develop the Internet of Things? Basically, you're going to have a sensor, right? So a sensor is the first step that you need to have in order to develop an IoT system. Not only IoT system, if you have a manual, like a simple automation system as well, you're going to need a sensor. There's a lot of sensor in this world. You have a temperature sensor, humidity sensor, current sensor, volt sensor, pressure sensor, touch sensor, ultrasonic sensor. There's a lot of various of sensor existed in this world. So sensor is gonna replace a manual data collection. For example, if you want to water your plant, right? In agriculture sector, for example, then you're gonna, if manually, traditionally, you're gonna have you have to walk into your farm, you take a pile of water and you just siram your pokok lah. That is a traditional way. But in a modern way, in this IR 4.0 era, you're gonna have a sensor such as a soil moisture sensor, a temperature sensor, and humidity sensor, and others related sensor lah. In order you to collect the data, the moisture of the soil, the water level of your plant, your plant temperature. So everything is connected to the sensor. So what we're going to do with the data, we're going to publish it into the second technology that we use to develop the IoT, which is cloud computing. Cloud computing is quite important as well, because that's the only platform that you have to display or store your data for you to observe, to make a further analysis, to control, to monitor. Let's say for the same example, you have the data like your soil moisture, your temperature, your humidity level, and that data will be published into your cloud dashboard, for example, like existed nowadays local platform that we have, which is a Favriot developed by Dr. Mazlan Abbas, if you guys know about him. He's the one who made the Favriot. It's a IoT cloud dashboard platform. we have like GCP also, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, AWS, Amazon Web Service. So this platform is where you gonna store your data and keep your data very safely lah. And it is very important because there's the IoT is all about. You have the data and you keep the data where you can observe, like the plant that you have just now, temperature, soil moisture, and also the humidity. You can control. You can see what's the temperature, what's the soil moisture. From there, you know whether you want to plant or your water, or you want to move your plant somewhere else, etc. That is up to you what you want to do. So by doing that, is make your work make your effort less lah. You don't have to go around to check one by one of your plant. You can just monitor it through your laptop or mobile phone. So that is the cloud computing. So number 3 is what I believe is a wireless communication. So nowadays everything is wireless, right? Everything is connected wirelessly, like a cloud, you know. And then there's one of the wireless technology is quite famous, I think, and I've been involved with this technology with my previous company that I work for as a R&D engineer. It is called a LoRaWAN. It's a long range for wireless connectivity. This also quite important in order you to control a big scope of application, like a street light, like an aviation light. You want to control it very far away from where your current location is. Let's say you want to control your system that been apart from you like 100 kilometers, right? You don't even want to travel there just to turn on your street light. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have a IoT system, which is you're gonna sit at your home. You can just open your cloud and turn on your street light, which is 100 kilometers above from your current place, very easily. So wireless communication is quite important in order for you to develop your IoT system lah. There's a lot of technology being used such as UWB ultra wideband that being used in my project that I've been involving now, as well in Apple's technology. You know, so, if you're using an Apple's product such as Apple Tags, that you can know where's if you attach to your bag or something, you know your bag being stolen or what being moved around your last position of your bag. So that is the technology being used by the Apples, which is ultra wideband. It's a low frequency, and it can be used as a tracking system as well, like my project that I'm doing now. So AI also quite important for you to develop your IT system, but it is quite complex. So I'm not going to talk about AI because I'm not from the AI background. So that's the technology I believe used to develop the IoT system. In Malaysia, there are several manufacturers being involved in IoT, which is the manufacturer that I've been working on to apply my IoT system. But I don't think every manufacturer in Malaysia is been utilized with the IoT solution. So I think less than 10 companies are using, or more than 10, I'm not sure, are using the IoT solution. We are growing up, right? I believe in another 5, 10, or 15 years, we might get fully utilized of using IoT solution for product efficiency or something. So that's my answer to that question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shakir. Okay, so as you has obtained from what Mr. Shakir has just told you just now about IoT, okay, Internet of Things. So what is Internet of Things? So what are the application of Internet of Things that are available in our daily lives? Okay, it might be that we don't even know that the things that we are using in our daily lives is a part of IoT punya system lah, the system of IoT. Okay, because IoT is related to um, mostly about sensors lah, like Mr. Shakir said. Okay, and then you have all these smart housing, manufacturing, okay, and then your communication systems. All of them are basically going forward. This are already utilizing the IoT or going forward into that area lah, IoT and all of the big data and so on. Okay, so these technologies is basically they are currently very expanding vastly. They're being used in every aspect of our daily lives. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to my second question to Mr. Shakif. Okay, so here the application examples on local IoT field. Okay, so meaning that in our country. So what are the examples of IoT field which are available, which are already running, already been utilizing IoT technologies that you can tell us about? Mr. Shakif?
Yes, thank you. So it can be more than one system that we're using in industry area. But what I'm going to tell for all of you now is what I'm experiencing and what I just finished the project, which is last week. So one of the example, I tell you, I'm dealing with this client. This client is basically a manufacturer from US, but based in Malaysia. In Subang, they are producing a 737 aeroplane, Boeing aeroplane, for wings and galley. For those who want to know what is galley is, if you study aviation or aircraft body design, galley is a parts in aeroplane that is it is a door. I think it was the right term. It is a plain door, you know, when you want to enter the aeroplane. So this manufacturer assemble this part, right, for 737 Boeing airplane. So there is one plant in this manufacturer site, which is I deploy my IoT system to this company. So what they want to, what the solution that they want is, they want to track their what we call a man-hour report, right? They want to know how long their workers in that particular zone inside the plant. The plant is very big, you know, it's like I think it's like a 10 times of, not 10 times, maybe 5 times of Dewan Gemilang, our Unicare BMI Dewan Gemilang size. So that's very big, you know, it's very big plant. You know, inside there, they are cutting the metal, you know, there's a lot of jig and metallic stuff. They're drilling the galley, the door. So what the management want is they want to track their workers, how long that they spend their time to complete the particular task. Previously, the problem statement is there are too many issues. Forget to update their work, forget to update their punch card, forget to do many things lah. So the management decided to have some sort of technology solution to overcome this problem. So they approach us give this to solve this kind of issue by using this RTLS system, which is a real-time location system being developed by a company in France as our supplier. They doing the hardware, they are providing us the IoT system, software, and also the hardware. So what we do is basically I go there and install all the system lah, right? All the system hardware, the network configuration, using a Linux based, how to integrate the sensor environment with the metallic environment, Wi-Fi connection. So that's the parameter that I have to take while installing this kind of system. So how does this system work? Is the workers there wearing like a tag, not like an Apple tag. So similar to that. So they are wearing that as their position, current position location. So whenever they move, they're going to point A to point B. The management can see their movement, but what the management want to see is not the movement actually. How long they are doing their work in their zone. Basically, for example, like if man A is been assigned to do to cut a metal, for example. So a metal need to be cut for 3 hours, for example. I don't know, but just for example, right? So while the man inside the zone, that particular zone that we are already assigned in the software by this the IoT device, the IoT system will take note how long the worker will be stay in the zone. Is it exact 3 hours, more than 3 hours, or less than 3 hours? That's all. That's all their management want. So how they gonna see the data is based on the cloud dashboard lah, which is the text that been know where the workers located at. Will send the data, will compute the data through the internet connection, through the router and Wi-Fi or 4G, 4G SIM card. Then the data will be sent through directly to our cloud lah. Our company, my company has cloud dashboard that we develop by ourselves. So the data we transfer to the cloud, and we can see like a timeline how long the worker in the zone. Is it 3 hours exact, less than 3 hours, or more than 3 hours? So by doing that, they know their worker are not cheating around, doesn't go anywhere, knowing that by the end of the month, they can see, oh, this man worked for 3 hours, so okay lah, they're doing the job. For example, like, wow, this man is overworked. We assign him for 3 hours, but then he worked for 5 hours. Then the management start asking them like, why are you working so late? Something less than 3 hours. So we know that, oh, this man are playing around. They're not doing the work. So that's the solution that they want. Right from there, from that kind of the data that they have, that's when they can improve their production system, their production efficiency. They know how to plan. They can plan, okay, for 3 hours, that guy can cut only one metal, but how the guy want to cut multiple metal? So they can plan. They can do their future planning for their working efficiency. So that's the solution that we, as a Singularity Aerotech, provide a solution to this manufacturer, right? It sounds simple, just to track a man inside the zone working how many hours, but the impact in the future they can predict, not predict, they can plan. They can plan how they're gonna assign to their workers, how long they're gonna assign to their workers, how many hours. So many things with you can use with this IoT system, real-time location system. That's the name of this project lah, basically. So that's one of the application lah. The other thing is basically my project, my final year project as well, which is a plant monitoring system via Internet of Things. It is a gold medal project, international gold medal award. What I do is I develop that system just to control the plant watering session by using a fuzzy logic system, which is we know how you're gonna know the level of water inside your plant, whether it's 50%, 80%, or 100%. If it's 50%, just add another 50% to become optimization of your plant health lah. So that's my project using also IoT. I using ThinkSpeak and also a Blink mobile application. That is my final project. So a lot of things that you can do with the IoT system to monitor, to control, and to do some further analysis. So that's the application lah. I believe there's a lot of application being doing in industry now, but one of the example that I just told you just now lah.
Okay, there you go. All right, so if you listen properly to what Mr. Shakir said just now, this application of IoT which are available in Malaysia especially, which are being developed by Mr. Shakir himself, right? How to organize all these systems for the company to monitor the what we call it, to monitor their workers, okay, whether they are working properly or they are not working or not doing anything, right? So that is an example of how this application of IoT being utilized in our country lah. Okay, and then one more thing, all right, with his gold medal final year project during his bachelor in Unicare LBMI internationally, he won gold medal for his final year project regarding this something about agricultural, Mr. Shakir?
Yes, it is correct.
Yeah.
It's the plant-based project lah. Basically, I monitor a bougainvillea plant, how to obtain the health of the plant basically lah.
There you go. And then he's utilizing these IoT systems by using ThinkSpeak, okay? How to manage the operation of the agricultural punya ni lah, apa? What is related to the IoT that has been utilized by Mr. Shakir while he was still studying here. Not only while he's working now, while he's studying before in 2019, 2018, he already applied this IoT in his final year project. So as you can see, that project is a gold medal project. So meaning that is a very good project lah, right? All right. So that should give you some insight about IoT, why IoT is very important today, and then not only today, for our future, why they are very, very important, because they help to ease our lives basically. All right. Okay, so let me move to the next question, which I think an important question as well, because obviously if you want to become an IoT engineer, you need to have all the skill sets, all the information, as well as the education that you are that you what we call it gathered together while you are studying, while you are learning, okay, while you are doing some all of the research, and then and then to combine them together to make sure that that is the requirement for you to become an IoT engineer. So, what is the skill sets which are you think, Mr. Shakif, the important playing an important role to make sure that you can become an IoT engineer?
For me, although I'm from not a non-networking person, my background is electronics. So what I'm supposed to do is I mean dealing with a semiconductor, IC design, FPGA, PCB design. But then I'm involving in this IoT. It is because it is quite related to whatever my background is. So the skill that you're gonna need to become an IoT engineer is number one is you're gonna have an engineering background, that's for sure. Right, that's for sure. You have the engineering background, and then you're gonna have what I think is the most important is radio frequency technology, right? Because the name itself, Internet of Things. Internet is the first thing. So whenever you are dealing with the internet, definitely you're going to involving with the networking, router, Wi-Fi, um, like LoRa. So you're going to have a lot of you're going to involve a lot of wireless communication technology. So radio frequency is very important to me. And sensor, you're gonna have a lot of knowledge regarding sensor. You gotta love about sensor because that's the input on how you're gonna get the data lah, basically. Because from the sensor, then only you can get the data, and the data need to be displayed in your final display, cloud dashboard or something. And the middle is the internet, where in the middle is the bridge there between how you're gonna transmit your data through your cloud server or something. That's where the internet plays the role, right? You're gonna have radio frequency knowledge, sensor, cloud computing is optional, but if you have that knowledge, you're gonna be a legend, lah, right? You're gonna be a good IoT engineer. But most of the involvement is radio frequency, that's for sure, right? Wireless communication, communication protocol, there's a MAC layer and some. I also not even that into that area, but you're gonna have that kind of knowledge in order you to develop IoT system, system architecture, how you're gonna transfer your data, how you're gonna transmit your data wirelessly. For me, and also hardware side, gonna need is designing. For me, I'm talking based on my perspective. For me, it's good for you to have, especially when you from electronic background, you're gonna have a good knowledge, a strong knowledge about PCB design, because after all, it's all about the hardware basically. Software side is more to like IT stuff, like cybersecurity, like a cloud computing. There's more to IT side, but for Unicab MI, for a person like you guys from this EE background, you're gonna have a good knowledge about PCB design, microcontroller design, how you're gonna put your sensor into the PCB board and connected to the microcontroller. I think that's the most important thing, how you're gonna integrate everything into one single circuit board, become an IoT device. That's the most important. So I'm conclude all that. PCB design as a hardware side,
If moment here, guys. It might be Mr. Shakif is disconnected.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, Shakif. You're on air now.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's the
Okay, it's
that's
okay.
the
Never mind.
disadvantage of the this Zoom or online discussion lah. Whenever there's internet breakdown. So I'm concluding all that I mentioned just now is hardware side, PCB design. You're gonna have a strong knowledge about that. Radio frequency, you have to be master about that as well, and also sensor knowledge lah. So these three are the most important thing to me lah, right? There's a lot of things. If you ask another person who involving in IoT, in this IoT field, they're gonna explain to you a lot of more than these three things. But for me, these three things are very crucial, right? So try to master all these three, and inshallah you will become a good IoT engineer lah, I believe one day.
Okay, Mr. Shakif, how about programming?
Yes. I forgot to mention about that as well. Programming is also play a big role while developing your IoT system. Microcontroller programming, C, Python, another related language. I know only C and Python only lah, but there's a lot of programming language been using. Thank you for mentioning programming. I forget to mention it. Yeah, programming is very important in order to create an automation system. So you're gonna have programming for your IT system lah. So there are four set for you to become an IT engineer.
Okay, so Mr. Shakif, programming. You said just now, for your for your position now, you are using mostly Python and C, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so Python and C nowadays they are being taught in Unicare LBMI, because I think about for the last 2 years, I think we started Python. C we already started them long time ago, but we only start Python about 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, by Madam Johara, if I'm not mistaken lah, if I remember correctly. So these um two types of programming, which is the C and the Python, is the main. Is it they are the main language, or is there any other language which are normally used by IoT engineers?
For me, C is the father of all programming language. Like even Python as well, the base of that language itself is a C language. So from what I've experienced before, working with my previous company, I only use C programming as to create an automation system, like Arduino, like Atmega, like 051 Centra. So I'm dealing more with C rather than Python, right? Because what I believe is Python language is more to data science. They are not more on this automation, this hardware controlling, like a microcontroller or something. They are more to data science for those who are involving in machine learning, deep learning, all this AI stuff. So Python is the best for them to develop the AI model. But in order to create an automation system and IoT solution, I believe this is my perspective. I don't know about others. Maybe some expert may have their own programming language or something. But for me, C language is more on IoT side. than Python. Python also get on IoT side, but not as C lah, right? So while working in this company, I don't involve so much in programming. I just, because most of my IoT system is being supplied by other manufacturers. So what I do is I receive the system and I just integrate with the hardware, with the router, with the sensor, with the, basically we just buy the things and integrate together and become a whole system lah. So that's what I'm doing in this company. So I'm not sure about the Python Dega IoT solution for that or not. So maybe some expert may have some explanation on it, right? Yeah, that's all my answer.
Okay, so sensors and then RF frequency and then programming, and then what is another one, Mr. Shakir?
For hardware side, PCB design.
Hardware, PCB design. Okay, all right. So that is the four skill sets which are required for you guys to become one of the IoT engineer later on. Okay, so as described by Mr. Shakir just now. Okay, I believe most of that, I think 3 out of 4 of that skill set required to become an IoT engineer is it's not available. It's just that you can gather them while you are studying in Unicare LBMI, isn't it, Mr. Shakir?
I believe so lah, right? In Unicare MMI, you can learn about PCB design. There's a subject in PCB design. If you're from electronic background, yes, you're gonna have that kind of subject. Microcontroller programming, all student, no matter what, you're medical electronics, telecommunication or something, you're gonna learn about microcontroller programming. RF, I'm not sure. RF is more on TCOM student.
Telecom, yeah, telecom.
Yeah. But now it's a free world. It's a open source. Everywhere is open source. You can learn it by watching YouTube. You can subscribe to Udemy course. So basically, RF is not that hard lah. Basically, all you have to do is just to make an extra effort and learn about it slowly lah. And at the end of the day, you will be able to know what is RF is all about.
Okay, so that is actually the question comes to the next question. I think this is the jackpot questions lah. Okay, so does the education in Unicare LBMI from the 7 years that you have learned here are capable of preparing students to become an IoT engineer?
Well, back in the day during my time, we learned this very ancient programming language, which is called assembly language. And I'm not sure you guys still learning about it or not. It is a very, very old school programming language. You have even that programming language also is not friendly. No, I don't even like the language itself. Back in the day, during my time, there is no subject called IoT. There is no called AWS subject. We just learn about programming A051, no C programming, the Atmega. No IoT. IoT is self-taught lah, basically. So, but just like Sizwan mentioned, 2 years ago, they are starting learning the Python and they are learning IoT subject. So with that kind of subject, I think, yeah, Unicare LBMI is capable to preparing a student to become an IoT engineer because, like I say like myself, I'm not learn that while in Unicare LBMI. All this is a self-taught. I Googling, I watching the YouTube. Arduino with sensor, integrate this one using this IoT system or something. So I just learn it all by myself, and then suddenly I work nowadays. I'm involved in IoT IoT field So that is back in the day during my time. But nowadays you have everything. You have the subject called IoT, Python language, etc. Yes, you are capable to producing IoT engineer lah. It's just a student willingness to learn about that or not. In terms
Yeah,
of
that
subject is which mean Unicare BMI need to prepare with which one is the related subject or suitable. For example, if you're on electronic student, so what is the related IoT subjects related to electronic, such as the PCB design, IC design or something, semiconductor or something. So try to involve, take those subject into IoT and convert it or tweak it into subject that more relatable to IoT solution, because IoT is not it's not like what like something that is only IoT. Not, it is not that. It is can be integrated with all field. It can be integrated with the software, with the IT, with the electrical, electronic, even in every industry nowadays. I believe everything is in IoT. You know, in hospital they are dealing with this MRI device, with these portable things, with internet solution, IoT solution. In hospital, in manufacturer, in our home as well, we are using a smart appliance or something. So everything is connected to internet. Everything is in IoT system. So it is applicable to all kind of field, I believe. So if Unicare BMI have a proper subject, related and suitable subject for their student, inshallah you will be producing a good IoT engineer.
right. So as being told by Mr. Shakir just now, we have all those subjects which are being taught for all the students in Unicare LBMI. Okay, we have this PCB subject, which if I'm not mistaken, I taught that subject about 2 years. Okay, I taught students about PCB design, on how to design the PCB using Altium software, and nowadays they are using Eagle sometimes. Okay, so we have that subject in Unicare LBMI, and then IoT, obviously we have IoT subject for electronics, and then you can also learn about programmings in our Python and our C programming, which are being taught for both diploma and degree. Okay, so meaning that 3 parts of the 4 skill sets which are required for you to become an IoT engineer has been taught in Unicare LBMI, okay, by completing your diploma and or your degree here lah. Okay, just that this radio frequency, which is basically a telecom the specialization in telecom. Okay, so that is the only part which you need to explore, maybe by yourself, by doing some research, as how Mr. Shakif did. Okay, learn it by himself so that he can develop his skills on that particular part, and then he managed to, you know, to conquer all these 4 skill sets so that he can become an IoT engineer. So throughoutly, I can say that from what Mr. Shakif experienced while learning here, and then what he is working now, so yes, it does. Our education in Unicare BMI are very capable of preparing you students to become an IoT engineer. Okay, you have to know that nowadays IoT is everything nowadays. Okay, in our daily life, every single day, IoT is everywhere. Okay, so to become part of this technology is actually a demanding career lah. Right, so that is why you are exposed into this industrial talk today with Mr. Shakif to enlighten you, okay, to show you the way how what you can do, how you can prepare yourself to become an IoT engineer once you have completed your study here lah. Okay, so I think the jackpot question here is clearly answered by Mr. Shakif. Okay, and then I move on to the next part, which is the all right. Any motivations or words of encouragements from Mr. Shakif for all the students who are in this session today, who are interested in becoming an IoT engineer, that you can share with them, Mr. Shakif?
Yes, of course. So not only to become a IoT engineer, okay, to become an engineer, any kind of engineer yourself, you're gonna put all your effort into everything. You're gonna you're gonna what willingness to learn a new thing, a complex thing, uh, a difficult things, right? That's only you become a successful person, right? In order to become a successful, you have to work hard, you have to be smart, you have to not to giving up, you have to take the challenge, and you have to do whatever it takes to become it works. So that's how you're gonna make yourself to become an engineer later on after you graduated from Unicap MI. So to become an IoT engineer, I also surprisingly not even believe that I will become an IoT engineer like now lah, right? Because my ambition is basically to become an electronic engineer. That's all. But someday I learn a new thing. I grow interest in IoT. I look deep into IoT, know what is IoT is all about. Um, ask people who are involving in IoT, create a good networking with them, do a lot of reading, and try to communicate with the expert, try to develop your own IoT system. Like myself, I'm not the expert, but I'm slowly learning as well. For example, like what my major is basically is a PCB design, right? I'm not a good PCB design as well, but slowly I learn how to create a schematic diagram, how to import the PCB, how to fabricate. So I learn every day, learn and learn and learn until then I become a PCB designer. So you have to work hard lah, basically, right? So a few moments in your life, if you can achieve whatever that is good to you, just go for it, right? Like myself, I just want to become a electronic engineer, but who knows, nowadays I become a IoT engineer, system integration engineer. So that's a good thing to me. So what I do is I adapt with it, I learn about it, I take the challenge about it. So you should do the same thing as well, right? One more thing you have to remember is I think this is same to every university student, right? Whenever you go to university, you learn something there, but don't be surprised whenever you graduated and then you go for your first career. 90% of your what you learn in university will not gonna use in your industry life, that's for sure, right? For example, if you learn about IC design, PCB design or something, then you go for your first job, you're not gonna do that, right? You will do some management work, you will do some unrelatable work, right? That is normal, right? Consider you a fresh grad after this. Don't get shocked. Just slowly learn. A lot of asking, and do some research about IoT if you want to become IoT engineer lah, right? Do a lot of research about it. Try to create your own IoT system. Like myself, I did my first IoT system by using my final year project as my first prototype lah. So you can do whenever you have a free time, you can do your first IoT system just to play around, just to familiar with it. Control a light or mobile phone, you can control your LED or something. Just try the small piece of project, then to grow your interest for you to enjoy working with IoT. For me, working with IoT is fun because number one, I love designing a PCB. Number two, I love programming. That's makes me want to know and to get more involved in this IoT field. So it is hard because you're going to learn about radio frequency and so on, because I have consulted a few of my friends who are involving in radio frequency. I was like, headache, what is all this about? But slowly I learn, I take note, I subscribe a Udemy course, I spend some money there. It is worth, don't worry about it, right? It is sound expensive, maybe 50 to 100 ringgit or even 300 ringgit also get cost. Just subscribe, learn, and don't give up. Take note, and one day, surprisingly, you will become an IT engineer. Inshallah, I believe that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mr. Shakif. All right, let me tell you about our guest speaker, a little bit about Mr. Shakif. Okay, I think I did teach you about 2 subjects, isn't it, Shakif?
Yes, correct, sir. You in Diploma 1 and Degree 1. In Diploma, you teach me a combinational sequential logic,
Okay.
Substitute of Sir, what's with the long beard? Sir, what, I don't remember the name. Then in Degree, you teach me FPGA. Yeah.
Okay. So that subject that Mr. Shakif just told you just now, the combinational and sequential logic, is the subject that some of you are taking with me now, which is the digital electronic principle. They are the same subjects. Okay. The name has already been changed, and some integration has been made into that subject where you are introduced into the usage of Verilog lah, the software of quarters 2. Okay, so that is the same subject that I taught Mr. Shakif, combination and sequential logic, with the one that I am teaching this semester, the digital electronic principle. They are the same subject basically, just new names and some additional topics, but the content is still the same. Okay, Mr. Shakif is a student, let me tell you, where if you ask any of the lecturers in electronic section, you said his name, they will know who Shakif is. So that is the student who Mr. Shakif was while he was in Unicare. You know, like when we are talking, who's doing that? Oh, no, Mr. Shakif. Oh, okay, I know that boy. That is Mr. Shakif. Okay, you can almost see him every week. Okay, he'll be around our offices, either electronic ones or electronic 2. You can see him coming inside, okay, going to meet his supervisors or his lecturers to ask about his studies, anything about his tutorials, assignments, as well as for his final year project. You know, you can see him almost every week. Okay, like myself, I see him almost every week. Okay, I saw him when he was here. Okay, I saw him almost every week lah. That is what Mr. Shakif is all about. You know, he is a very hardworking student, and he is a very, you know, he strive for his success. That's why he is a successful engineer now, because you can see from his effort. That is what I I managed to think about Mr. Shakif lah. You know, he strive himself to, you know, not to play around too much. You know, he always come to the class, and then he did all the works or the assessment which are handed out to you, to all the students. He will hand it out back with his solution and everything, and if he doesn't know, he doesn't understand about any of the things that we taught, then he will come to you and then he will ask you. So that is the kind of student who Mr. Shakif is lah, who he was when he was as a student here. So that is what I can tell you about Mr. Shakif. So you should take that, that positive vibes from him. Okay, what is how is the effort of Mr. Shakif while he was studying here? Okay, that will definitely 99% will help you to make sure that you are successful graduating here and you can become an engineer. Okay, it doesn't mean that you have to be an IoT engineer, but any field of engineering um should be okay because you are engineering students. Okay, so you need that motivation. Okay, you need that encouragement as well as the effort, to make sure that you are you are going to be successful, inshallah, once you have graduated from here lah. So that is what I can tell you about Shakif. All right, almost every lecturers in electronic know who Shakif is. When we are talking about who did that? Shakif. Okay, I know that student. Okay, almost all of us know who Shakif is. Right? So that should be your, at least make it to become one of your targets so that you can become, maybe like Mr. Shakif, where while you are studying here, a lot of lecturers know who you are, mention who you are, because we know that your effort and then your goals as well as your results are very, very good. So that is what I can assure you that you can try to apply lah, for all of you. Okay. All right. So I think that is it for students from, a question from my part. Now I am open the session to our Q&A session. So I'll open to all of the students. Anybody of you has any question to ask Mr. Shakif? Anyone? If you have any questions you want to ask.
I think they are.
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No questions?
No question, sir.
No
Motivation.
question?
sir. No, sir.
Good
Okay,
motivation,
so
actually, sir.
say again? Can you say that again?
It's a good motivation for us. I mean, like, we are to become engineer. I hope so.
Yes, because this, by organizing this kind of industrial talk, we can gain all this information from our guest speakers. Okay, Mr. Shakif here, where he will share with us, okay, his experience, okay, how to get involved into his field, what are required to become somebody like him, So this should be exactly should be your main goals lah while you are studying here, because you have to remember the main reason why you are here is for you to obtain your diplomas or your degree, meanings that is your future. Okay, so whilst you are studying here, make sure you concentrate on what you are doing. Doesn't mean that you can't enjoy yourself by doing other things. You want to play games, you want to play footballs, you want to do anything, you want to go play parking with your friends at Mamak's. That is actually okay, no problem with that. But make sure your priority is on your study lah. Right? So like I told you just now, how Mr. Shakif is while he was studying here. So that is the the shape that you should follow lah. You still can enjoy your life. You want to go going shopping mall, you want to go and watch movies, yes, you can do that. Doesn't mean that you have to 100% what we call it, focus on your study only. But just make sure that your study is your main priority. That's it. Okay. So if there are no
Noted, sir.
questions, then I'm hoping that this session does helps you a lot in terms of um, applying you, no, supplying you information about the um, working environment, especially in the IoT field, IoT engineer. Mr. Shakib, just a small question.
Yes.
Does the pay good for IoT engineer?
Sorry?
Does the pay good?
Oh, the pay. Yeah, for me, I have 2 years experience working in different sector. I working in the maintenance sector, repair sector, R&D sector. Now I'm involving in this IoT sector. So the pay is quite good to me. It is it is like if you're a bachelor and you can have a KFC for every day.
There you go. So how
Yeah.
you can imagine, yeah, that that is the pay rate for someone who has the experience as Mr. Shakib and working as him now. Okay, so as you can imagine how, you know, how important it is, this IoT field nowadays, and then to become one of the engineer in that field will very help you in your future lah. Okay, obviously I can't. If I ask Mr. Shaki what is your pay grade now, he can't tell lah kan. But if you can eat KFC every day, means that the pay grade is very good lah. Okay, so that should also become one of your goals. Okay, to become an engineer, IoT engineer or any other engineers. Right, so that is the main reason why you are here. You need to obtain your degree or diplomas, and then you want to work with what you have learned during your time in UniKL BMI. Okay, so I think that is it for us today lah. Um, if there are no more questions, then I would like to say thank you to especially our guest speaker, Mr. Shakif Emir. And then thank you for your time. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your experiences, which you have shared with us, especially with the students. And I'm hoping that you will be what we call it, more successful in the future. Okay. And then thank you for your time as well. And I'm hoping that in the future, if we have any more plans on this industrial talk, maybe we can call you again, okay? Maybe for the FYP part, because you are gold medal winner, you know. So your what we call it, your experience will be very um, expensive lah for you to share with us, with the students, right, Mr.
Sure, no
Shakib?
problem. Yeah, no problem.
All right.
And I also would like to thanks to Mr. Izwan and also Unicare BMI Electronic Session for inviting me to have this kind of talk session. I'm feel very proud to share what I have, because I from like you guys before, just a normal student like you. So, all the I just want to tell you that all this happened is because of the lecturer in Unicare BMI, right? Without them, I don't know anything. You know, Suizwan teach me a few subjects, and others lecturer also teach me. So I become what I become nowadays is because of them lah, basically. So another tips that I'm gonna share with you: try as much as you can to have a good networking with your lecturer, right? Because that is the most important thing for me, because my first job is with the help of my lecturer basically, right? The others lecturer that I know So meaning that you have to make a good networking with them, always keep in touch with them, and if you have any problem, just go and meet them, then the problem will solve right? So what I mean is you have to have a good relationship with your lecturer. Don't go to class doing something, then after class we just go everywhere. Try to have a conversation with them, try to having lunch with them. Just keep in touch. That's all I mean, right? So thanks once again for inviting me, and there's a lot of successful alumni as well rather than me. Like I have a friend also from medical electronics. If you want to invite him after this or something, he also got a good success background, a good experience as well as a medical electronic background. So I have a few of my friends are very successful nowadays. So just if you have any talk session or something, you just let me know lah. I just can invite them.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Shakif. Okay, so I think I'll end the session here. Thank you, you guys, for attending this session with Mr. Shakif. Hopefully, you get a lot of inputs from this session, industrial talk with Mr. Shakif, that you can use them as a motivation for you to become successful in the near future lah. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you, Mr. Shakif. Okay, good, best of luck to all of us. All the best for our future undertakings. Okay, so thank you very much. Assalamualaikum and good evening.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
All the best, guys.
Thank you,
Mr. Shakif.
sir. Thank you, Mr.
Bye.
Shakir.
Thank you.
On.